In-depth coverage of the top stories and breaking news when it happens. News Radio 1080 KRLD.
President Biden warning that Russian hackers may try to disrupt things here in the U.S. through cyber attacks. Alex Cherones is a local cybersecurity expert with Headstorm. We ask him what these bad guys out of Russia are most likely to target.
Some of the things that we've seen in the past that have been both successful and unsuccessful here stateside have been against our critical infrastructure here in the United States. So that means everything from gas pipelines that we saw last year that were compromised, unfortunately, water treatment facilities that were attempted to be attacked but were successfully repelled last year, all the way to meat processing that had varying levels of success from a defensive perspective. So, it varies, like I said, largely and greatly from that side of the house, and then certainly from a financial perspective as well. We see these probes that kind of happen, and that's effectively the bad guys identifying any kind of vulnerabilities that they could exploit. And we see those on an ongoing basis. We've seen an uptick in recent times, certainly, with those probes to kind of see what's going on here domestically. So it's a good time for all of us to kind of be aware of what's going on, and certainly from a critical infrastructure perspective, that we are as well protected as possible.
And in this environment, what would be the first thing you would advise a business to do to make sure they're protected here?
In this type of a situation, well, there's a couple things that I would advise any and every business to do. One is make sure that the Chief Information Security Officer has a direct line of sight and direct line of communication with the CEO, making sure that he or she is receiving timely updates and timely notifications of any potential threats that are out there in their environment or in their larger ecosystem. The second of which is making sure that you're doing a comprehensive review of your security posture and talking to a consulting company like Headstorm that has the opportunity to come and give you a honest assessment of where you stand and where your vulnerabilities might lie, and then making sure you're implementing a plan behind that to go ahead and mitigate any kind of challenges that could be out there.
And when it comes to those of us who are just individuals looking to protect our privacy and our information, is there anything in particular we need to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that I always say at an individual level is to, on all possible applications, making sure that you're enabling multi-factor authentication, or MFA as we call it. MFA is an extra step in the process, an extra hurdle that would prevent a would-be attacker to compromise your credentials, compromise the data on a particular account that you're using, whether it's something as sensitive as financial data or as something as more innocuous as, social media and everything in between, right? And so that multi-factor authentication requires you to do a real-time authentication of access to your account. And it's very, very simple to go ahead and do that. Outside of that, making sure that you're, using, complex passphrases or passwords that are not going to be as easily guessed as possible. So those are the things I would recommend at an individual level to make sure that people are remaining as vigilant as possible.
North Texas cybersecurity expert Alex Cherones.